Late at night, Reen arrives at a nightclub to meet one of her friends. Her tired eyes don't go unnoticed, a visible mark of sleepless nights and heavy responsibilities. As the CEO of her company, long hours and stress have become her daily routine. After the night out, Reen returns home. Her father is already asleep, but Auntie Malloy waits up for her. Reen learns that Kem is already home. She's had dinner and gone to bed. That simple fact stirs a wave of unease in Reen. If she had come home any later, her frustration might have boiled over. Reen finishes her dinner in silence and makes her way to her room. There she finds Kem sitting on the bed, gently playing with a small toy. It's a peaceful scene, but the silence between them is thick with unspoken emotions. As the two share the same space, old wounds and repressed feelings begin to resurface. Reen's jealousy begins to show. She can't ignore the memory of Kem hugging someone else, even if it meant nothing. She tries to mask her feelings behind anger, pushing Kem away, denying any love or attachment. But Kem senses everything. She doesn't need words to understand what Reen is feeling. As the night deepens, Kem's tenderness clashes with Reen's defensiveness. Memories of their physical closeness are brought up, moments shared not just once, but again and again. Despite Reen's words, her actions in the past spoke louder. The closeness they once shared wasn't accidental. It was real, intimate, and it left a mark on both of them. Reen becomes overwhelmed, commanding Kem to leave the room, but Kem refuses. She sits firm on the bed, her heart breaking. Tears well in her eyes as she asks why she's being pushed away. Does Reen truly hate her this much? In truth, Reen doesn't want Kem to leave. She's not trying to punish Kem. She's trying to protect herself. Her emotions are a whirlwind, and she doesn't trust her own heart. Seeing Kem cry, something shifts in Reen. She softens. Her walls start to crumble. Kem moves closer, still full of love, and gently leans into Reen's warmth. She tells Reen how cold the night is, how warm her body feels, and how much she wants to stay, just to be close. Touched by Kem's sincerity, Reen no longer pushes her away. The night draws them back into each other's arms. Despite all the anger, despite all the pain, something between them still lingers. Something too deep to deny. And so, under the quiet hum of night, the two fall back into a familiar rhythm. A rhythm of closeness, vulnerability, and longing. The episode ends as passion overtakes the pain. And once again, their complicated love story continues. The morning after the storm of emotions, sunlight streamed through the curtains, casting soft shadows over the room. Reen woke up in silence. Her back was turned, but she could feel Kem's warmth still lingering beside her. For a moment, the world felt still. Safe. But safety was an illusion. Reen slowly sat up, brushing her hair behind her ears. Memories of the night before flooded her mind. The vulnerability, the closeness, the way she'd almost let go. Almost. Kem was still asleep, a faint smile resting on her lips, as if she had finally found peace. Reen watched her for a moment, conflicted. There was love. There was pain. And in between, there was fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of admitting what her heart had long tried to deny. Later that morning, Reen prepared for work. Her usual cold composure returned, armor in place. She didn't wake Kem. She simply left a glass of water by the bed before heading out. She told herself it meant nothing, but deep down, she knew it did. At the office, Reen tried to immerse herself in work. But Kem's face, her touch, her tears, kept slipping into her mind. Her focus cracked. Meanwhile, Kem stayed at home. She wandered through the house with quiet footsteps, replaying everything that had happened the night before. She could still feel Reen's heartbeat against her skin. It gave her hope, a fragile hope she refused to let go of. That evening, a family dinner was held at the house. Reen's father had invited a potential business partner and his daughter. The dinner was formal, but underneath it all was a plan, one that Reen hadn't agreed to. The daughter, polite and graceful, clearly admired Reen. And Reen's father made no attempt to hide his intentions. Kem sat at the table, her eyes watching everything. Though she smiled politely, something inside her tightened. The way Reen's father praised the other woman, how he spoke about building future connections, it felt like knives pressing against her heart. Reen remained calm, but cold. She answered questions, nodded when appropriate, and kept her gaze from meeting Kem's. Every movement, every silence, created distance. The woman across the table wasn't her wife, not in the eyes of those around them. She was a stranger again. After dinner, Kem stood alone on the balcony, staring at the dark sky. The stars were distant, just like Reen. Her heart felt heavy, but she couldn't give up. Not yet. Later that night, Reen walked past her without a word. No eye contact. No sign of the woman who held her just one night before. The emotional wall was back, stronger than ever. Kem followed Reen to her room, but the door closed before she could say a word. And once again, the distance between them grew. But this time, something felt different. Like a storm was building. Quiet, but inevitable. The love they were both denying was no longer willing to stay silent.